Alright, now, this is called Skip Shuffle Remix.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
pay attention, you'll love this one.
Bear in mind that
oh yeah,
there's technically two parts of this. I'll explain why at the end of it. But I would like some input to what you think, where I should go with it, if it's something I should continue. Alright, so part one. You're the one who's always screaming at me. I'm the one who keeps your life so carefree. There for all of your problems, and in turn you're never there for me. I could be mean. I could be angry. I could be just like you. I could be weak. I could be senseless. You know, just like you. You see, I am so sick of this damn tombstone mentality. You're a fucking self-fulfilling prophecy. I could be cold. I could be ruthless. Just like you. And do you think that by crying to me, looking so sorry, that I'm just going to believe? I'm not going to be drowned by your thoughtless scheming. So you can try and tear me down. But I will see you screaming.
Now before you explain it, do you understand it yet?
I think so.
Alright, go ahead, tell us.
It's like listening to different songs on iPod.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait a minute,
from...
these are all lines from songs.
Yeah.
How many different songs do you have in there?
3?
1,
No, there's more.
2, 3. That first part has 3 songs off of a playlist of about 20 songs.
This is a brilliant fucking idea. It needs more.
I have hundreds of songs, but I made a very short playlist to make this test to see how it would.
The ending is a little too abrupt, but it's coherent, it's cohesive, despite the amount of source material from it. Now, if you were to ever publish this, you would need citations, which
Well, it's not unlike a Beat Generation Blackout poem, or a what do they do? It's like when you take a poem and you just deconstruct it to words, and then you reform with the words that they have. You know what a blackout poem is too, right? Where you take a take a marker and then you open a book to a random page, and you black out all but like 5, 6 words or whatever, and then that's the poem.
Okay.
And same concept. The thing Burroughs did a lot is he'd take 2 pages and he'd cut them down the middle, and then like he would like fold them over or whatever, so that take 2 pages and fold them over so that the sentence would like break in the middle, and then like you'd have the rest of the other sentence, and it would change the meaning of everything. You know. Same, well, similar concepts. So it made me think of those.
Part 2 follows the same format, a little bit different. There's too many men, too many people, all making too many problems, and there's not much love to go around. Out in the fields our bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning our brainwashed minds.
Now all these songs are playing in my head.
Yeah, I know, I'm singing to myself.
And did you read the news today? They say the danger's gone away, but I can still see the fires alight, burning into the night. Generals gathered in masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction. Sorcerers of death's construction. The time bomb is ticking, and no one is listening. Our future is fading. Is there any hope we'll survive?
I think that went well together.
Yeah, really good. I like that one more
You
than the
have
first one.
like this uncanny ability. I'm loving this ability that you're having right now.
It is a brilliant motherfucking idea. I'm thinking now that I've heard 2 different ones, that this should be a series. This could be a whole fucking book.
Yeah.
I think it should very much be an exercise among a group of people. And see how they can do that. A whole collaboration, maybe.
It's an interesting
Each person will make their
concept,
own.
but it's not. I don't know.
Well, you
I
haven't
like the
heard the
idea.
idea behind it either.
I think everybody could. Well, I'm thinking the short poem like he did, but a whole series of these things could be done just by randomly picking. And you can even focus on
That's
themes, like this is just this kind of rock and shit like
That's
that.
the hardest part of these poems, is getting people to listen to the poem instead of going off on the songs.
Yeah.
But
No, I got the poem
okay, so then what's the point of these?
of that second poem or the
Of both of them? What's the point of that?
well, I don't know what your theory behind it is, but I know what the idea of the
Expressed
deconstructionism
in each of
in
those.
poem.
Okay. Well, the point of this is where the fuck it went. The point of this is that we all have certain songs we like, right? And we typically make playlists based on different genres, different themes, different bands. The idea of this is that what draws us to these psychologically, subconsciously, the basic themes contained in these songs. And when you deconstruct the songs and you mesh them together like this, it reveals a subconscious story, a message that we appeal to as people. So right there, from the first poem, that relates to a personal perspective of mine, or something, or an ideal that I have. So a way that I'm viewing my life or the world around me personally. So it's the second poem, the way I would view the world or what's going on in the world. And the same thing, I believe, and I'm willing to, my hypothesis is that if other people was to do this and make a playlist of their own, of songs that they've chosen from their own collection, and do this, that their songs and poems would end up coming out as a reflection of what they are, why they put together this specific playlist. It's because it's a reflection of their true opinions of their reality reflected in these songs.
That's an interesting theory, although I could easily see it as I could easily put together a playlist of like the most random shit I have on my computer, and if I knew I was writing this poem, I would select the lyrics that work the best together. You know what I mean? And so it isn't necessarily a portrait of my own psyche more than it is an experiment in creative writing.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you're talking about just putting together a random list and then picking the best lyrics. I'm talking about putting together a specific playlist that fits a theme you enjoy. For example, Korn, Shinedown, Disturbed, all bands that run around roughly the same theme. I mean, for example, Disturbed is very political, very sociological and psychological in their songs. Korn is very much about hatred, pain, and
Abuse.
so forth. Abuse. Ozzy, Paranoid, he was very political in his songs as well.
System of a Down.
System of a Down, yep, and Sarge Tankian, or however you pronounce the last name. Sarge Tankian, yes. So, I mean, all of these guys are all people I listen to, people I enjoy. They follow a certain theme and whatnot. And if I'm going to put a CD together and put in a track following the same genre or what have you, or I want to put them on my MP3 player, I'm going to naturally bunch these songs together. So I throw them all on one playlist and then listen to this song.
Yeah, I get that idea in theory. My point is that there's layers to the construction of the poem that would inhibit the proving of this theory, because there is the construction itself of the poem, and in that it occurs in essentially a deconstructionist manner, where you're taking there was a choice in these where's the.
I paraphrased a little bit, but
Yeah, oh yeah, you did too. But there was a deliberate choice in taking these lyrics and putting them where you put them, and putting the next one, whatever. So it wasn't necessarily any more of a portrait of your psyche as it was. Well, I want to convey this theme. You had a theme in mind when you constructed it. So it's no more a portrayal of your psyche than a poem I write about. Something else. It's like if there's a goal in mind and you have that construction.
Okay, you see these lines here though? the songs just for this, for the top one, I had 2 pages of quotes from different songs. Alright, and going through all those things, I could have done a lot more, but what I settled on, or what felt right, was reduced to this.
Hey, Dean.
Yeah, that only furthers my point that it's a very nitpicked.
It's a calculated
It's a very
playlist
calculated,
with the intention
yes.
already in mind that you're gonna
Well,
turn this.
bear in mind, that's naturally how I operate anyways.
Yes.
Dean, when you decided to do this experiment, did you actually decide to do it, or did you just happen upon it? Like you were listening to the song.
Well, I was listening. I was listening to music. I'm like, you know what? I wonder what would happen if I wrote a poem off of this. Because I get inspired a lot by listening to music.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's how. Well.
So I thought, why
Yeah.
not turn the music into a poem?
Okay, so then that actually kind of proves your theory, which you already did. So.
In this case, I don't give a shit about improving the theory because it's just such a cool idea.
Oh, I think it's an interesting concept. I just don't
There's
think
a
it
billion ways.
says something special about a person.
I think there's a
I
billion
don't
ways
think
you can
that's
go about this.
necessarily. What it does.
He could have a collaboration where a bunch of people try to do the same kind of just deconstructed poetry like he did. It's technically your idea, so you can do with it what you want. Or he can have us send him, I don't know, a 20-song playlist. And see if he can create a song out of it, and see if it's anywhere near what we were going for. I mean, I was thinking, what if I gave you 20 theme songs?
Well, theme songs would be
Can we
interesting.
That'd be
put it
difficult.
at the top? That
like,
would be
to
awesome.
construct
But,
a narrative based on that'd be interesting.
Playlist of 30 songs. Because when I originally had this idea in mind, it was meant to be done with like a playlist of 80 to 100 songs. I went with 30 to do these.
I think shorts would work. Short poems, a series of short instead of one big one would work much better for this. I think one big one is going to get too incoherent.
The idea
I
aside.
like the short. I like the short just because it is like from what we said earlier with Ryan's. It's that snapshot. It's like the perfect size snapshot of what is going on, and that's what music does. Like all those artists that sing about hatred and like their feelings, essentially, they're getting their feelings out there. They're putting it to music, and then we listen to it and we're like, God, that's how I'm feeling right now. This is why I'm listening to this. So like when I started hearing the 3 Days Grace, that like took me to a whole nother time in my life when that's all I listened to.
That's something else too that I thought about. I completely forgot about that until just now. When I've had this idea for a long time now, but when I originally came up with the idea, I was planning on making it just courses. I didn't quite go that route, but the idea was that when each song played, or when I wrote it and you could tell which song it came from, it was to invoke that song if you do it in your own mind, which would bring about the meaning of that song and the feelings, therefore only enhancing and kind of like Inception, you know, it adds a whole nother layer to the meaning behind the poem.
That's interesting. That's an interesting
Awesome, the Inception thing.
concept.
Idea and concept aside, what do you think of what I chose to form a poem out of? Like,
What are you asking? Like the
like the
songs?
lyrics I chose to form the poem.
They form well together.
Yeah.
Is it
They
well
really do.
constructed?
Yeah.
I would just to
Close.
see what I could create. I would if I were you just to experiment, I would listen to 2 or 3 genres that are so drastically different. Just because all the lyrics of like these genres, you pick something of the same genre, same concept, same, and so it's easy to pull out. Well, this lyric and this lyric kind of sound like they would go together, and it's easier to form that vibe.
A coherent thing.
A coherent. Well, I would like to see you do the same thing with like a folk song and a heavy metal song, or a
Your fucking folk music.
or or like a techno song,
Hey,
but
what you should
Lady
do-
Gaga and like
Do a genre, like an era thing. Like take a song from every 10 years.
Lady Gaga and Rammstein.
And
Yeah.
Please do it. That would be epic.
But the German would be a little bit of
Yeah.
a throw off there.
Du hast mich.
I
That's
think
all
that
I know
might
of
throw
that.
the
I want
duo
you-
Du
off.
hast mich. That's all I know of.
It's like, you can't see my poker face.
I want you.
I want you. Du hast.
No, you know what? Even better.
Du
on
hast
an even
mich.
better level.
I want
You
you to
can't
want
see.
me.
3 different songs that are in 3 different languages, and just try
You
that
can't
for
have
once.
me, but I want.
When you get on expert level, you know. For now, just keep it with English.
Of course, Josh will probably be sending me shit. I'll go click on it and be like,
Kenny.
ooh, baby, baby, ooh.
What?
I think that's a Justin Bieber lyric.
Very
I read down a meme, so I don't fucking
I'm
know.
not
I don't
about
listen to
sing
Justin Bieber.
I thought about
Is
it
it?
for a
Is it
second.
Justin? Yeah. Wow.
Really
I didn't know that.
It's like-
It was a comparison to an old love song where he goes on to give like a song.